5 years ago, I was a struggling title rep. I knew that there was more to this business. I knew that there was more to this job. Just didn't know how to put it all together, but I hung in there. I got some help. I got some coaching. I did a lot of reading and a lot of research and a lot of trial and error. And here I am today. So I created this channel because I want people like you who are either struggling in their business or looking to tap the glass ceiling. You want to increase your order count. You want more from your business this year. You're feeling a little stale or stagnant. This channel is for you. I'm going to help you today. And with all my videos, hopefully feel a little more confident when you go out into the workplace and ask for the business, because that's what it's about, right? So this video today, we're going to jump right into it, is for those of you who are struggling a little bit with what to say on the phone. First of all, let's talk about the purpose of the phone. The purpose of the phone is to make appointments. That's really it. When you are prospecting, the purpose of the phone is just to make appointments. There are going to be very few times, and I'll talk about that in another video, where you do use the phone to obviously follow up and talk about either closed business or the opportunity to work with someone again. But if you're brand new and you're just starting out prospecting, if you need to start prospecting again because you haven't been doing it enough, I want you to think about the phone as simply an appointment tool. It's just a tool you're going to use to make appointments. But the problem is a lot of us pick up the phone and say, I don't really know what to say. So I'm going to help you with that today. I can easily psych myself out and not get on the phone for sometimes days at a time. And once I've noticed that that cycle starts, it's really hard to get out of it. On the flip side, I go through seasons when I can't wait to get on the phone and I am just calling people. It doesn't matter if they hang up on me or they tell me no, it doesn't bother me. I just keep calling. So I know that it's very common to go through those seasons and those cycles. And I've noticed that when I know exactly what I'm going to say and I know exactly who I'm going to say it to or to whom, it feels so much easier to get on the phone. So if you can think about the purpose of the phone is simply to make appointments, that's going to help you because you only have to know what to say in order to make that appointment, and then you can hang up and regroup. Because once you've made an appointment, you're probably not going to meet for at least a day, maybe 2, 3 days, or even a week, and you have time to prepare for what do I say on that appointment, which is in another video. So when you're picking up the phone, you want to go into it with the mindset of all I'm trying to do is get them to tell me when they're available. Not if they're available, but when they're available. And there's a way to do that. I'm going to role play right now with a few things that I say when I'm calling title reps. Not when I'm calling title reps, when I'm calling agents. And I try to have a lot of fun with it. So the first thing I do is I make sure that I am either up and walking around or I'm standing at my desk, but kind of sitting behind a desk. I've noticed that I don't always feel quite as confident. I put my shoulders back, and a lot of times, and I can't take credit for this, I watched this in another video, I'll stand in front of the mirror so I can actually make contact with myself. If I smile, you can almost hear my smile when I'm talking. So the phone rings, and if the agent answers, there's a couple of scenarios that usually happen. The agent's busy. It's not a good time. They're walking into a closing. They're in an inspection. They're picking up their kids from school, or they simply just say it's not a good time. The other option is that they're going to say, yeah, I'm available. What do you want? Right? So in either one of those scenarios, you have to know exactly what to say. If you stutter or stammer, it's going to lower your status. And I don't know about you, but there have been plenty of times as a title rep where I already feel when I walk into a room or when I make a phone call that I have a lowered status in our ecosystem, as it is called in real estate, right? So I want to make sure that I stay on that same playing field with the agent. I'm not going to say, oh, is this a good time? You might, depending on what part of the country you're in, or maybe how things are done in your community or culture, maybe that is appropriate to say. But I have found that when you're trying to get to the point and talk to somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't care about taking your phone call, and maybe isn't even regretting that they answered now that they know that you're a title rep, you've got to be really confident and know exactly what to say. So once you make that call and it's ringing and you're waiting to see if the agent's going to pick up, you need to know exactly what you're going to say. And there's only 2 scenarios if the agent picks up. The first scenario is that they tell you it's not a good time. Well, if they tell you it's not a good time, what do you say? Do you say, oh, okay, I'll call you later? Do you say, oh, well, when is it a good time for you? And don't do either of those things. First of all, the agent didn't know it was you calling. They probably don't have your number saved in the phone yet if you've never called on them before. Second, there's like 0 agents in the entire world waiting by the phone for a title rep to call them. They don't wake up in the morning going, oh, I hope I get a call from 5 title reps today. So you already have to know that your phone call isn't necessarily going to be well received. So when they answer, if they tell you it's not a good time, you need to know what to say to that. Okay. And I do some really simple things. So if I call and they say, hey, Sarah, it's not a good time. I'm walking into an inspection, picking up my kids from school, whatever it may be, I say, no problem. Are mornings or afternoons better for you? What I say, mornings or afternoons better for you. That allows them to answer and not say, well, they could say, well, no time is good for me, right? But I almost 100% of the time, when I say mornings or afternoons, which is better for you, they'll give me one and I say, great, I'll call you tomorrow morning before 10 or whatever it is. If you've been in the business a while, you probably know you need to go into your CRM or your calendar and put a reminder in your calendar or CRM or your phone immediately to say, hey, follow up with Tina, 9 a.m. Friday morning. If you're brand new, you need to have a system. I'll make videos about that later. I'm just getting started on the channel, so give me a minute. If you don't get to that and they just say, hey, well, you know what? I'm going to be out of town. It's not really a good time for the next 5 or 10 days. And I say, great, I have my calendar right here. 10 days out is about the 15th of the month, whatever it is. I'm going to put it in my calendar to follow up with you around the 15th. Okay, that's an option. Now, let's say they do answer and it is a good time. You also need to know what to say. Okay, so if you call Tina, she picks up the phone and you say, hey, Tina, it's Sarah from XYZ Title. Listen, I'm sure I'm the 10th title rep who's called you today. I like to say something fun like that because they'll either laugh and go, no, you're actually the 5th. Well, at least I know where I am in line. Or they'll go, no, actually, nobody's called me today. Great, then I know my competitors aren't on it. Because by the way, Tina isn't some low producing, non producing agent. She is an agent that I've had my sights set on because I've done my homework. I have access to tools that allow me to know, is this a producing agent? If I don't have access to those tools, then I just get on Facebook or I do some research online to try to see, is this agent doing business and at what level? And are they the agent that I want to go after? Okay. So I call Tina. She says, yeah, it's a good time. What do you got? And I say, hey, Tina, listen, I have a list of agents here that I really have in my on my targeted list to work with, and you're one of them. I'm also working with a coach, and I have to go back to them every week and tell them if I was able to get an appointment with my top prospects. You don't have to say any of that. You don't have to say all of it. You can say some version of it. Most of the time, that works because the agent feels flattered. And by the way, I'm not lying. It's true. These are agents I actually want to meet with and work with. So I say, so I'm calling because I'd like to know which day this week might be best for you for me to stop by the office and meet, or bring you a cup of coffee or grab a cup of coffee, whatever the rules and regulations are in your state, you have to apply them. And I didn't say, by the way, I was wondering if you'd have time. I said, wondering which day this week might work best for you. You could even narrow it down. Let's say you're calling on a Wednesday. You could say, listen, I'm pretty booked up for the rest of the week. I've got a little bit of time Friday and then more availability on Monday morning, right? So do you see what you do when you narrow it down and you're speaking with confidence? Just pretend in some ways that you are a receptionist at a doctor's office and you're simply calling that person to say, hey, we need to get you on the schedule. What works best for you? And then have some availability. I can't stand when I call the doctor and I say, hey, I need to get an appointment. And they say, when do you want to come in? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. You're the one with the doctor's calendar. You're the one who knows when the doctor's available. How about we start that way? How about you tell me when the doctor's available? Give me 2 or 3 options and I'll let you know if those work for me. So I think when we're calling as reps, we also need to have that mindset ready. Hey, Tina, I want to meet with you. I've got Friday morning available and Monday afternoon, which works better. Now, Tina might be taken a little aback by that. Remember, she wasn't expecting you to call. She certainly wasn't expecting you to be so well prepared and well spoken and confident, right? So you simply need to allow her time to process. She's probably going to say, you know what, Friday I can't. Monday's really not good either. Okay. Then listen, I've also looking at my calendar for next week, and then you just go through it until you can get time on her calendar. Now, what happens if Tina says, you know what, actually I'm driving. Could you send me an email and maybe we can go from there? Because I don't have my calendar in front of me. You know what, Tina, let's do this. You mentioned you thought you had time on Tuesday afternoon. Let me go ahead and get you booked on Tuesday afternoon. We can always move the appointment. I'm going to send you a calendar invite as soon as we hang up here. But let's go ahead and book for Tuesday afternoon, and we'll move it if we need to. How's that sound? Right? Tina may push back. She might say, no, I really'd rather look at my calendar. Okay, no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot you over my contact information. And when should I expect to hear back from you? You guys, what is the purpose of phone call? To make an appointment. You're not trying to convince her to move her book of business. You're not trying to get to know her favorite color. You're just trying to get an appointment. So don't take it personally. Don't spiral. Okay, great. So I will need to have that appointment booked. You're thinking in your mind. So you're going to say, great, listen, I know you're busy. So if I don't hear back from you before the end of the day on if Tuesday works or not, I'm going to go ahead and follow up with you. Tell her, I'm following up with you. No problem. Okay. My goal is always to say, let's just go ahead and put it on the calendar and we'll move it if we need to. How's that sound? Right. And then they usually go, that's fine. So before we hang up, I say, Tina, let me confirm your email address. Is it tina@123gmail.com? Whatever, right? And she'll go, yeah, that's fine. Or actually, could you use this email address instead? Bingo, because now I know I have a more valid address. Okay, so I write it down. As soon as she hangs up, I make sure that I have her contact information saved in my phone. I make sure I have her contact information, first name, last name, brokerage, email, and phone number at the very least in my CRM. And then I put that into my calendar, adding her to the invite so that now she has that information as well. Now, before I wrap up this video, I want to make sure and tell you that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. I'm going to be posting videos every week for title reps, people looking to get into the business, starting in the business and needing help, or looking to expand their footprint and grow their open order count this year. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll be posting videos every week. All right, so the last thing you're going to do, once you make that invite and you send it, Tina may accept right away. She may not accept. Either way, in your mind, it's happening. You're going to just, it's going to happen, right? Positive vibes. Monday, if the appointment is on Tuesday at 2, on Monday before 2 o'clock, you're going to send her a text message. This is what I do, and it works 99.9% of the time. You're going to send her a text message, and you're not going to say, hey, Tina, just wondering, are we still on for tomorrow? Question mark. No way. You think Tina's going to text back and be like, yes, I've been waiting all weekend for it. I can't wait to meet you. No, she's not going to do that. So you're going to text Tina, and you're going to say, hey, Tina, confirm your appointment tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Starbucks, wherever you had decided to meet, at your office. Looking forward to it. First name, last name, right? Sarah, last name, and then your title company, and that's it. Now, if Tina responds with a thumbs up or, yep, we're on, great, then you move on with your day. If she texts back and says, oh, I'm so sorry, I actually forgot, I can't. No problem. You better have 1 or 2 options right then and there. How about Tuesday of the following week, last resort, because you don't want to wait a whole nother week, right? How about Wednesday at 9? Or I also have Thursday at 11. You need to have 2 options available for her within about 24 to 48 hours. If she pushes back on that and says, I really can't the rest of the week, I'm booked. How about same time, same place next week? And then you move on, okay? But it is not a text message to allow them to get out of the appointment or to then begin this like snowball of we can't get each other back on the calendar. Persistence and follow-up is going to be the key every time. It's going to be how you make money in this business. You will become known for it. People in my community know me as the follow-up queen. I have had many people compliment me on, even though it exhausts them, they respect it, and they've told me that. Hustlers in this business will appreciate your hustle. I have gotten clients after calling on them for 6, 7, 8 months because they're like, you know what? I appreciate your hustle. I'm going to give you my time. And then I'm able to sit down and have that meeting with them. Sometimes I haven't even had to have a meeting because they know what I'm after, right? So there have been times when I've just called and called and called and called. And I'm not saying every day, I'm not saying every week, but I've been what I call, and you can write this down if you want, pleasantly present and persistent with their permission. I always get their permission. I say, hey, Tina, let's say Tina just says, listen, I'm not interested. I don't have time for you. I'm happy with my title company. I'll make a video about overcoming objections as well. And I say, you know what, Tina, listen, I would say some other things, but at the very least, I would say, Tina, with your permission, I'm going to be pleasantly present and persistent. Tina goes, oh, okay. So Tina, with your permission, I'm going to call in 3 months, 2 months, 6 months, 10 days, whatever it is, and check in. How's that sound? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I've had one agent in 5 years. I said, I'll follow up in 90 days. He said 6 months. I said, how about we make it 5? And he loved the banter and he appreciated the hustle. And he said, 5 months it is, right? He doesn't care if I follow up. I'm going to follow up. And he kind of knows I'm going to follow up. He's hoping I don't. He doesn't care if I do or don't. But the point is, become the follow-up boss. Okay? So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.